My name is Lauren Watson, and this is my testimony. When I was 16 years old, I worked at the 88 Dip in town, and I noticed that my fingers started just to peel. And I really didn't know why, but skin just kind of started to fall off of my fingers. So I was like, okay, whatever. So it went on weeks, months, and still continued on the one pointer finger on my left hand. And I was just like, why is this happening? I just didn't know if it was like chemical related, what I was using to wipe down tables. I didn't know, but my fingers were just peeling with skin literally falling off of them. I went on months and I noticed that it was starting on my other hand. I just really didn't understand why, but I had multiple fingers with skin falling off of my hands. Then I noticed even at home, just washing the dishes, taking a shower, doing anything, working outside, skin would always be coming off of my hands. And it was literally anywhere I went, I always had skin falling off. I could go get my nails done, all my skin on all my fingers would be falling off, and I just didn't understand why. I don't know. I mean, I just had skin coming off everywhere, and it was embarrassing because I would go places and I would literally just be like, don't look at my hands. Like, I was embarrassed of my hands because I had skin coming off all the time. My mom was like, Lauren, you've got to do something about your hands. This is really bad. Skin keeps falling off. This isn't normal. So we called my doctor. We had a cream prescribed. I used it for a while, and then that didn't work either. I ended up calling back. They gave me another kind, and it was like, it kind of took it away just a little bit, but not really. They just thought it was just eczema, honestly, and I was like, I don't think so. But anyway, I used it. We ended up calling my dermatologist, and I went there, and the person was just like, I honestly just think it's allergies. You might just need to take an allergy test. And I was just like, I really don't want to do that. I don't think that's what it is. And they just wanted me to get poked with all kinds of needles and have me come back. And I was like, I just don't think that's really what's going on with my hands. They prescribed me another cream, and it still didn't work. So I came to a conclusion that I was just going to have my hands peel for literally the rest of my life. And it was just how it was going to have to be. But I knew that God could heal my hands, and if I had faith and I really believed that it could be done, but I honestly just didn't put my faith in it, and I just was like, oh, it's okay, I'll just live with it, it's fine. It was January, and I'd heard about the services at Nortonville. Me, Mom, and Dad decided to go, and they were going to get in the water, but I just didn't know if I wanted to get in yet. So I went, they got in, it was amazing, and I thought about it, but my faith was just not there, and I just didn't really believe that my hands were going to be healed yet, and I just wanted to build my faith up. So I waited, and I was just going to watch them, and I did. And then I started watching videos and seeing other immersions going on, and I just built my faith up like really, really high, and I knew that I was gonna eventually get in the water and that my hands were going to be healed. I realized I spoke negative over my hands all of the time, and that's probably one of the big reasons of why they were staying the same, because I spoke so negative over them. I started building my faith, really praying about it, and I knew that we were going to get a pool here, and we were going to start having immersion services. So I was getting really excited because I had made the decision that I was going to get in the water and my hands were going to be healed, and I would not have to deal with them peeling anymore. The night comes and immersions are happening. I volunteer, and I'm supposed to be at the registration at 8:15, but I signed up to be in the water so I could get my hands healed. Comes up, I go in, Heather prays for me, I get a prayer cloth, I get out, I serve at the registration, and then I look and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be in the water to do immersions at 10:30. I'm like, okay, well, and usually when I get in the water, my hands just really peel, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm doing it. Here we go, God. This is really putting to the test because I'm gonna serve in the water for 2 hours, and my hands are always absolutely terrible when I get in the water. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get in the water. I'm gonna serve, and I know that my hands are going to be healed. After my 2-hour shift in the pool, I go home with my prayer cloth, and I look down at my hands, and I'm literally just like, they look just like they always used to when I would get in the water. They were pretty bad, but I was like, no, my hands are healed. They're healed and whole, and they're gonna be fine. So I get my prayer cloth, it's wet. I sleep with it wet, so my hands are wet all night long. And every time I'd wake up, I would say, no, my hands are healed and whole. My hands are healed and whole. I would just repeat it through the whole night of sleeping. I wake up the next morning and I look at my hands, and I literally promise you right now, I only had 2 spots on my fingers that were peeling, and the rest of my hands were literally not peeling at all. Like, I had no skin coming off of my right hand whatsoever, and only had 2 little spots on my left hand that was peeling off. So my hands used to physically hurt me all the time, and when it would get really bad, they would just be so rough. And if I would touch Dakota or like touch his hand, he would just be like, ow, you know, that just feels like sandpaper. And it did, and it really, like, I would be embarrassed to go out and like show somebody my hand or even get my nails done, because I just didn't want people to see like all the skin falling off of me, and everybody would always ask me about it, and so it would just like really hurt me. So here it is 2 months later, like exact. I just look at my hands and I'm like, wow, they're healed, and I barely have anything that ever comes off of my hands whatsoever. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, thank you, Jesus. I was healed in the water.